And I promise you, for the rest of my life, I will work to make this state better.
Hundreds of people filled an auditorium at NDSU tonight to hear from a former All-American swimmer turned political activist, Riley Gaines.
Gaines is traveling across the country in what she calls a Reclaim Feminism Campus Tour, sharing her unique story with fairness in women's sports after competing against a transgender athlete during the NCAA championships.
With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls.
You can be trans and you can be happy, that you can reclaim your future, that you can define yourself, that you can rediscover these things that you thought lost, and that there's always hope, that walking forward, even when it seems impossible, you can make it.
Donald Trump signed an executive order today that directs the Department of Defense to revise the Pentagon's policy on transgender service members, a move that could lead to a ban on transgender troops serving in the military.
What this movement is really about, the transsexual reptilian agenda.
Historically, we have already seen of this type of conversion therapy have devastating ramifications. For example, consider well-known Chloe Cole, who is a detransitioned youth. She is just one of the many young women who has suffered the medical abuse that follows affirmation-only therapy. For Chloe and countless others, the road of affirmation only leads one way.
So why are these changes needed? Well, as of yesterday, this change is needed so that North Dakota is in alignment with the federal government's policy. In the president's speech yesterday at the Capitol, he said, and I quote,
It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
I've been fighting for hope for almost a decade in the state, and I'll keep doing it. You can trust that I'm going to keep doing it.
Tonight, the state's largest LGBTQIA+ advocacy group is issuing a travel advisory for non-binary and transgender residents.
There isn't one moment where I realized I was transgender. It's this like blurry, cracked mosaic of all these tiny but very important gender revelations.
And to hear stories told from members of my community. That is important and that is beautiful, and I do not think that we should be standing up and saying that this art form, because it's somehow connected to my community, is not allowed.
To demonstrate to the court that what the president did was unlawful. But I feel very confident based on the strength of the arguments that were made today, the questions from the bench, and what we've seen previously, that we will continue to prevail in this matter. This is really a continuing saga to ensure that we have justice for people in this state and all across this country.
And I promise you, for the rest of my life, I will work to make this state better. I'm passing around some information. It's going to be some of the work that I've done across the state for the last 10 years. It's also going to include the State of the State report for the how LG+ youth are doing across our state. I share with you just some of the work I've done, some of the writing I've done on this to kind of establish that I am the state expert when we're talking about trans issues in general, but I'm also serving the state as a suicide prevention advocate. This is something I've been doing for a very long time because I myself am a survivor of suicide, and I want to make sure I can do everything I can to educate people, give them hope, and really just kind of make the state a better place for everyone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone anymore. You're not alone anymore. None of us are. We have so much more community than we've ever had, so many more people fighting than ever have been. We are not alone. and we can survive. We can find hope. We can thrive. We can find the fetchest life ever. Come on, let's get up. Raise the flag. Show everyone a little bit about the world that you see. One full of so many helpers and heroes and hope. When you spend the time to look for it, you can find it. And it's always there.
You are seen, can you see me?